Hey, it's your girl, Stay Ho. How is everyone doing on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening? I am doing great. Thank you for asking. And just wanted to take a minute since I'm having such a horrible, horrible, horrible time with keeping up to my consistent scheduling and showing up on the same day at the same time. I was like, look, whenever something hits me and whenever I have the time, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and I'm going to talk to my people, my lifer tribe. And so today I have had the awesome opportunity to meet with 3 of my clients and be involved in a conference on Zoom. And I know that my whole lifer tribe couldn't be there. And so I'm a woman of a certain age. Sometimes I get things and I get all excited, and then boom, something happens. I see a squirrel, whatever, got to cook dinner, and I completely forget about it. And so I wanted to share this phenomenal information with you all today. And I jumped on. And so what I want to kind of talk to you guys about for just a few minutes is imposter syndrome. And it's kind of a little buzz phrase that I've been hearing about for the past couple of years. And I really was able to take a deep dive into it today with a couple of my clients who we recognized, we had a group session and recognized that they are suffering from imposter syndrome, which is one of the major roadblocks in trying to take your career, your business, your brand, whatever it is, to the next level. And then we were also able to identify how, with the way I coach through soft skills, and I saw how it is that emotional intelligence and those soft skills or lack thereof that allow us to even entertain imposter syndrome. And so that's why I made this title of this video, Don't Fake the Funk, Be the Funk, Bring the Funk. You are enough. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background or definition, so to speak, on what imposter syndrome, it's when you suffer from, like when I got on last time, we talked about the difference between a coach and a mentor. And so I did do a lot of explaining how when you do have a mentor, it's someone who you aspire to be like, someone who you pattern your practices after. However, you never heard me say it's someone you aspire to be, because you can't be them. They just kind of set the groundwork or the foundation for you to build upon on your own. So you're only using their knowledge. You're not using their persona. You're not trying to copy them. You're just using them as a guide. And what happens a lot of times is we decide that there's something that we want to do, a career path we want to go, a business we want to start, a brand that we want to start pushing out there. And most of our ideas do come from something or someone that we've seen before and we're interested in it. And so we decide that we want to try to do the same thing. However, the mistake that we make is we try to do it just like that person who maybe first sparked the interest for us, or just like that person who kind of got us involved. And that's where we fail right out the gate, because the only way you can do something and be excellent at it is to do it like you. And what happens is when we're trying so hard to do it just like that other person, we get discouraged because guess what? We can't. And so instead of us realizing that it's because we're trying too hard to emulate them instead of just being ourselves, we feel like it's because we're a failure or because they're so much better than us. And that's not the case at all. The fact of the matter is they're the only ones qualified to be them and do things the way they do it. And you and I are the only ones qualified to do things the way that we do it. But the good news is There's room for all of us, even if it's in the same space, even if it's under the same umbrella. There's still certain people who are going to be more drawn to you and what you have to offer just organically, not necessarily because there's a better or a less than or a greater than. It's just that different energy, different people connect. So therefore, there is room at the table for all of us. And so we have to be very, very intentional and use our spirit of discernment when we are looking at other people to pattern things behind. We have to be very guarded and protective of ourselves and make sure that we're not struggling too hard to be like them, that we're not trying to follow them as a pattern to the T, that we're just using them as a guide. And so that's another kind of analogy that I think is very important when we talk about this, where a guide is completely different than a pattern. If you have a guide, it's kind of just showing you the general direction, leading the way, opening up a path, but you don't have to stick to it stringently. You don't have to just go exactly. It's just a guide. It's just a way. Just think of it as flowing. It's just a way to flow, kind of keeps you from hitting some of the roadblocks. And that's what we want out of a mentor, or even a coach for that matter, because you don't want your coach to be telling you exactly what to do, because they're not you and they don't know what comes authentically and genuinely to you. So it's more of a guide. A pattern, on the other hand, is something that you have to follow very precisely or it won't work. It's almost like being a clone, which is impossible. And what happens so many times is we try to follow those patterns so closely and so tightly, and we're visiting stress and strain on ourselves that is unnecessary, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And just because I do it differently than you do it, it doesn't mean that your way is wrong or my way is right. It just means that we do it differently. And the thing is, someone is going to love and appreciate me for the way that I do it, and someone is going to love and appreciate you for the way that you do it. And if you just do it your way and you follow what organically and genuinely comes natural to you, it'll alleviate so much stress and so much pressure. Because when you suffer from imposter syndrome, then you're constantly comparing yourself. And as I know that we've all heard thousands upon thousands of times, is comparison is the thief of joy. And what we all want to do is be able to live in a joyful space in our minds. We don't want anything stealing our joy, let alone our own thoughts. And so when you're constantly comparing, because no matter how close you follow someone, no matter how much you try to pattern yourselves behind someone, no matter how much you try to do things exactly like them, the fact of the matter is you're not them. And so it's not going to be possible. And when it's not possible, then you put yourself in a space of feeling like you failed, when really you were embarking on something that wasn't possible. And you have to be you, because you've been created to be you and to do things your way. That person was created to be them and do things their way. And God is not going to give you a vision. He's not going to give you a gift. He's not going to give you an idea. He's not going to open doors for you if he hasn't already equipped you with what you need to be successful at it. He's not going to open these doors and then say, now go and do it just like Steph. He doesn't need that. He created us all uniquely. He created us all with our own gifts and special talents, even if they seem like they're the same. There's something different that you have to add that that other person doesn't. And the great thing about it, especially when it's someone who does something similar to what you do, it opens the door for collaborations. And when you suffer from imposter syndrome, you are afraid of collaboration, because you don't want to risk not being able to be as good, not being able to move as far ahead, because you're comparing yourself. And so you miss out on the beauty of collaboration. You can't be afraid to share your audience. You can't be afraid to share your platform. That is so selfish. It's selfish for you, because there's so much you can learn and grow from watching and listening to someone else. Not copy, just learn and grow. And sometimes we learn good things, sometimes we learn bad things. That's what it's all about. But you're able to process the information and use it in a way that it benefits you. But then it's also a disservice to the people who you are serving when you won't allow or introduce other people, other talents, other perspectives into your circle, because you can't be everything to everybody. And so as soon as you get comfortable in the skin that you're in, as soon as you get in touch with your emotional intelligence and your EQ, and you have that confidence and that presence about you, and you know how to work as a team, you know how to collaborate, you know how to build upon things, you will be so much more successful. And not even so much more successful, you will alleviate so much stress. And one more thing I want to add, we use the word successful a lot, but what does that really mean? If you are making all the money, if you are at the top of the food chain, if you're getting all the awards, but you're not happy and you're not being you, is that really success? Because God created us to live in joy and to live in peace and to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. If you're constantly comparing yourselves to others, if you're constantly trying to be just like someone else, where's the joy in that? I couldn't imagine. It is so easy being me. And once I put any thoughts of comparison out of my mind, once I did not even entertain the possibility of suffering from imposter syndrome, once I just focused on Stay Hall and what Stay Hall had going on and going about it and getting to my goal in Stay Hall's way, I was the happiest as I've ever been. And I want to see that for each and every one of you, because what I don't want to see is you give up on your dream, give up on your passion, give up on your goals because you don't think you have what it takes, simply because you can't do it just like someone else. And the thing is too, for the most part, we don't necessarily know what it took for that person to get where they are. And so it looks great now and we want to do it just like them, but be careful, because you may not want that journey or that path that they had to go down. And we usually don't know that. And so the only journey that we were meant to take, the only path we were meant to walk, is the one that was created specifically for us. And so I just wanted to jump on here real quick and share that with you guys, because when I was meeting with my ladies today and we had our group session and kind of was doing all the things, I just could see the light bulbs going off. And sometimes, we forget, because I was there at one time, but it has been a long time ago. Thank you, Jesus. But I forget. And then when I see other people struggling, it's my duty to share. And when I know that I'm in a small group and it has touched 3 or 4 people, then I also believe it's my duty to jump on here and share it with even more, because that's what I am passionate about. And it's helping other people, encouraging other people, uplifting other people, and just helping them live their best life at their highest self, the way God intended it for them. And so I thank you guys for indulging me once again. I thank you for all your grace and forgiveness for me not being as consistent as I need to be. I really appreciate you all for that, and still supporting me in spite of myself. But I promise to do better, and I will always and never neglect sharing with you when I think that it is something that will add value to your daily life. And so guys, before I jump off, I want to remind you to go to my website, www.isaltforyou.com. I believe it's scrolling across the bottom. And we have some wonderful courses that will help you get exactly to the place that I was just talking about. We have courses in soft skills, on emotional intelligence, that will just kind of help give you the tools and the skills that you need to be able to be authentically who you are and just be able to give you everything that you need to be able to live at your highest self. You have the opportunity to gain certifications. You have the opportunity to advance. We also have an opportunity where you can actually become a soft skills trainer yourself. And so just go to the website at www.isaltforyou.com. I encourage you, if you do nothing else, take the free leadership assessment that we have on there and just kind of see where you fall on your emotional intelligence and soft skills. Hey, Vonda. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you got a golden nugget today. And hey, Miss Casey. Hi. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I really do pray that something I said, just triggered something in you. If nothing else, just gave you the confidence or an extra boost, just that whatever you might be struggling with as far as imposter syndrome or comparison, let it go. Realize you are enough, and how you represent yourself and present yourself in the world, someone is waiting for you. And so stop wasting their time and your time trying to be someone you're not, and just be you. And what they say, what's the kids say? Do you, boo. That's what you got to do. Do you, boo, because that's what you were created to be. No one could sit here and give this whole spiel using the same exact words as me and deliver it like me. Why? Because this was for Stay. And someone needed to hear this from Stay. And someone needs to hear whatever from you or get whatever from you. And you're depriving them of that. And so be your true, authentic self and save yourself a whole lot of stress, because I'm telling you, being you is pretty easy. It's real. I don't even have to think about being me, because that's who I am. I don't know what else to do. When you're trying to be someone else, you got to think too much. You got to remember too much. I wake up every morning and I'm Stay. So it's easy. One thing off my list. How am I going to be today? I'm going to be like Stay. I don't have to think about what anybody else is going to do except for Jesus. What would Jesus do? That's not only what would they do. Everything else, what would Stay do? Because I need to do it like Stay. Someone is waiting for Stay to show up, and someone is waiting for each one of you to show up. So I appreciate you guys. Blessings to each and every one of you, and to my Lifer tribe. I love you all to bits and pieces. And make sure to be good to one another and love one another, but also never forget to live your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly. See y'all next time, guys. Love you. Bye.